Fireworks erupted live on TalkTV as political commentator Chloe Dobs absolutely torched the government over the High Court ruling forcing asylum seekers out of the Bell Hotel. Dobbs systematically dismantled the Home Office's failed policy, exposing how this landmark decision sets a devastating precedent that will cause absolute chaos nationwide. Then came the killer blow nobody expected. Dobbs revealed how taxpayers are funding days out to cinemas and bouncy castles for migrants while hard-working Brits struggle to pay bills, leaving the studio host utterly stunned. Watch the clip.
Before this, I want to say a big thank you to all our supporters who helped us reach our very first 1,000 subscribers. That achievement truly means a lot and inspires us to keep giving you our best. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now. Most people who watch our videos aren't actually subscribed. We know life gets busy, but subscribing is completely free and it really helps us grow. Our next goal is 3,000 subscribers, and with your support, we can get there even faster. You can also support the channel by checking out the links in the description, where you'll find some valuable books. They cost you no extra, but each purchase gives us a small commission that helps us improve our content. Thank you so much for being part of this journey.
I'm surprised that we haven't been on together before, but that time will come. So, on the first bit, Epping scored a victory in the High Court as the High Court ruled asylum seekers must leave the Bell Hotel by the 12th of September after protests and peaceful protests generally and a migrant's arrest. Let's listen to what Dan Jarvis, the Security Minister, had to say about this morning.
Could you at least answer just so specifically, if it's not hotels, as Security Minister, what is it?
So for reasons that I completely understand, you're focusing on one particular bit of this problem, and I'm evidencing the activity right across the sort of the spectrum of the challenge in terms of the leveraging diplomatic relations with our partners internationally and stopping the flow of people getting to the northern beaches of France in the first place, which is my primary area of concern.
Come on, Chloe, surely that was typical ministerial waffle and he didn't tell us anything in particular.
Well, you will have seen there, I mean, the people listening won't have seen it, but he was looking down whilst he was answering the question there rather than looking the interviewer in the eye, which showed that he was pretty nervous to answer that. The Labour Party don't seem to have any good answers as to what to do about this problem, and I bet they had a pretty sleepless night at the Home Office last night after that High Court injunction about the Bell Hotel in Epping, because this sets a huge precedent, not just for Epping, but for the whole country. This court ruling has basically shown that housing asylum seekers in hotels is not in line with planning rules, because a hotel is legally supposed to be somewhere that has people stay on a temporary basis, not a permanent basis, and it is required for a hotel that anybody and everybody is allowed to book in to stay there, which is of course not the case when it is shut off to the public just so that only asylum seekers can stay there. So we've already had I think it's Epping Council come out and put out a statement last night to say we're going to try and do the same, and I think there's going to be a huge domino effect, and they are going to be freaking out about what to do in the Home Office. They can try desperately to get contracts with landlords and whatnot to put people up in private rented accommodation, HMOs. But if there's a really fast domino effect with this, they're going to really struggle to keep up, and then maybe they will have to resort to putting them in tents in a field or something like that. And I'll be honest, I don't have a problem with that. I have been to these camps in Calais, and a lot of people think, oh, they just turn up there and they stay in a tent for a day and then they come across to Britain. No. A lot of these people staying in Calais, they will stay in those camps in Calais for often a year.
Yeah, they're living rough at the edges of Calais and all the rest of it. We've asked the question out to the audience. If not for hotels, where do we house them? What are your views? If you were the Home Office Minister who had to make a decision, what decision would you make?
I would go for tents and fields, and I think that that is the only thing that's going to be stomachable to the British public. If they try and boast that they've closed all the hotels and they've met their election pledge to close the hotels, but they're actually all in our communities, in private rented accommodation, families have been turfed out their houses because the landlords have been offered above the market rate and 5 years guaranteed rent. People aren't going to stomach that. That's still going to be a society where these people are treated better than Brits who have to set their alarm every single morning to earn money all day to try and pay the bills, while someone who's turned up and doesn't work and gets days out to bouncy castles, the cinema and everything else gets it for free. It's not going to be stomachable. I mean, ultimately, we need to stop them coming across in the first place. And my hope with this, I know that closing down the hotels isn't going to solve all of the problems, but I hope it causes enough chaos for the Home Office in terms of the housing situation that maybe that gives them the kick up the backside that they need to actually stop the boats coming across. Because I am not convinced so far with their so-called